Today I'm going to talk about subtracting mixed numbers. Let's look at this problem. Since we already have common denominators, let's focus on the subtraction. Can we solve 4 minus 5 here? No, we're going to have to borrow, but where can we borrow from? Like in traditional subtraction, we're going to have to borrow from the whole number to the left. In this case, we're going to have to borrow from this 2. So let's go ahead and change him to a 1, and now we've borrowed 1. What do I do with that 1? If I just put it right here, what did that do to help me? Nothing. We're going to get rid of that. Since it needs to be in a fractional form, and I know that any fraction with the same numerator and denominator equals 1, 33 over 33, 24 24ths. I'm going to go ahead and just add the simplest fraction I can. What would be the simplest fraction to add to 4/6 that I could come up with that equals 1? Well, in this case, 6/6 would be the simplest one. But what do I do with that now? Now, I don't want to create any other work. I could have done 4/4, but that would mean I'd have to get a common denominator with the 4 and the 6. In this case, the common denominator is 6. So I'm actually going to add 4/6 and 6/6 to get 10/6. Now that I have 10/6, I can do the subtraction. So I can do 10 minus 5, which is going to be 5/6, and 1 minus 1 is nothing. So the answer to 2 and 4/6 minus 1 and 5/6 is 5/6. Why don't you try this one on your own? 11 and 1/3 minus 6 and 2/3. So hit pause and come back. How did you do? Was it tricky? I know that I need to borrow because 1/3 minus 2/3 isn't going to work, so I'm going to make this a 10, and I'm going to add on 3/3 because that's what the denominator is already in, which gives me 4/3, which is an improper fraction, but it works for this. I'm going to go ahead and just move over this fraction and get 4/3 minus 2/3, which is 2/3. Now I need to come back and look at my whole number. Here, 10 minus 6, which is going to give me 4 and 2/3. How did you do? This will be the last one on your own, and it's going to be 7½ minus 4 and 3/4. Go ahead and write this vertically, not horizontally, and try and solve it. Come back and I'll show you what to do. All right, let's go ahead and just get rid of this problem. We'll make it small over here so that I have more room to write. So I'm going to rewrite my problem and have 7½ minus 4 and 3/4. And the reason I'm doing this is I want to be able to show my work. So what is my common denominator? Well, I don't have one yet. So I'm going to go ahead and come up with a common denominator. In this case, it would be 4 times 1 times 1, which of course would make that 3, and that's times 2 is 4, which means this is times 2. Now, 2/4 minus 3/4, I can't do that. So I'm going to borrow from the 7 and make it a 6. I'm borrowing 1, and I want to show that 1 as a fraction, which is going to be 4/4, and that's going to give me 6/4, and I'll go ahead and move over my 3/4 just so I see it. 6/4 minus 3/4 is going to give me 3/4. Now I need to look back at my whole numbers, and that is 6 minus 4, which gives me 2. 2 and 3/4 is the correct answer. Go back and watch any of these if you have any questions, but I'm going to go ahead and assign the homework right now. Go ahead and turn your page horizontally, and you can use the numbers. Remember to write your whole number as twice as big as your fraction. It will help you when you're trying to see your work, at least right now when we're learning this skill, and then bring it in with you. Can't wait to see you tomorrow.